Hello and welcome to the showcase video for my proof of concept for a brand new type of mob farm here in Hytale. This is not ready for use in adventure mode yet, exploration mode yet, or whatever the mode is called. But I think it's worth showing. There's some things I still haven't quite nailed down. We'll go over that later. We start off with one of these buildings. Now this is one of the larger buildings you find in a Outlander fortress area. And it has one of the tightest packed spawning areas you'll normally find in game. You see we already have quite a few mobs in here. So this is what we're going to be converting. As you can see, we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different monsters, all in this one very small area. So this is what I ended up with. Now it might not look like much, but there's quite a few different little bits going on. And I'll give you a quick tour first and I'll explain what each part does. So if we head inside, you'll see I've fenced off this wall and made it so you can't get out. So the first thing you'll notice is this funnel. The idea is mobs cannot jump up fences. They can go down them, but they can't jump up them. Which means that as long as these guys are moving, they are moving downwards. They will head down towards this teleporter, which when it's switched on, will take them all the way up here. So this is a version of Monkey Farm's teleporter mob trap. There'll be a link up in the top right corner, or in the video description, which is designed to take the mobs and kill them here so you can pick up the items. I've modified his design to have rails which will allow the player to come through and pick up the items without having to get out of a cart. Everything else is for the player to be on. So this long rail track is to bring the player far enough away so things can respawn. We have an area underneath where the player will basically be going underneath that funnel so that the mobs are attracted to them. And this elevator is basically a timing device to keep the player away from everything else long enough for things to respawn. So let's look at things individually. We'll start off with the mob funnel. So I've got a nice clean version over here. So as you can see, each layer we have fences going downwards. Now I have tried something here with the steep roofs to try and get a slightly sharper fall towards the middle. It does work. I don't know if it's any more or less efficient than using blocks. The idea is that the mobs are constantly heading down bank, coming towards the player, and heading into this portal. Underneath this, we have this array of rails. This is actually one of the biggest problems with the system right now. You are too fast on these rails. As the player comes along, they're moving at a very high speed. So yes, the mobs are attracted to you as you pass under these trapdoors. However, you're not there for long enough for them to actually start moving. Then we have the elevator. So this elevator is basically designed just to slow the player down, to give time for things to happen. So it's just a simple repeating design that has to be built from the top down if you want to build this in exploration mode. But it basically just transports the cart upwards in quite a tight space. This is a 2x3 spiral. Then we have this cart drop. The fences keep everything in line. These blocks are here because of rotation. So this will stop the cart from rotating too far. And then finally we have Monkey Farm's teleporter mob trap, which has been modified. So his version is in the ground. This version is above ground. The biggest thing that made this work is this little rail gate here. So this basically, the only thing that can pass through this is a player in a rail cart. So I grab a rail cart out. Turn my HUD on. You can see the player can get in, move forward, move around, and then come out again. It happens fairly quickly when you're actually holding the button down, but it works. Now the other thing that makes this work is rail junctions. So we have two here to show. So this is a determined junction. So when the player is coming along this track, they will always go straight forwards. And when they are coming along this track, they will turn. That allows you to head down a shaft, which now puts you on this. This is a turnaround junction. So what's going to happen, no matter which end you come in from, so if for some reason the cart gets turned around or a button gets knocked, if you're coming this direction, you'll follow the rail track around. Let me just slow down slightly. You'll follow the rail track around and head back up the same way you came in. That's basically all the components put together. I will show it in action. So if we head up here, we're going to start just here. I will put myself in exploration mode. Oh, wait, before we do that, we need to turn this back on. So, why don't you have a name? That should be good now. We'll come in here. Okay, that is now switched on. There is a spawn spot missing. I believe it's because I dug too far down below it, and that caused it to get deleted. I actually have a video on removing spawn markers. If you are interested in that, it works in exploration mode or creative mode. So let's give this a test. So we're going to head up here, place down our cart, switch game modes. So you'll fall down this chute, follow it around, and then up, and then you'll see our head is inside of the trapdoors, and you can see all the mobs coming towards us. And they will eventually hit that teleporter, head up a small elevator here, and we come along. Now this track is supposed to do similar again, just to bring them up towards the teleporter, and then we head out of the building and towards this rather large section here. This is tall, so we're going to drop down, move forwards, back up this elevator. Now this is about 90 blocks away from the building, this entire section. And that's important because there is an exclusion zone on spawn markers, which means you have to be so far away in order for spawn markers to actually spawn. Now you do notice I am suffocating ever so slightly, but it's never long enough to actually cause any harm. So we'll come all the way up to the top. As you can see, we go in here, pick up the drops. Now there was a wolf in there. He couldn't attack us. We weren't there for long enough. Come back down and we're back in. So that time we picked up 4 meat, 4 shadow weave scraps, 7 medium hive, and 3 void essence. And the process just repeats over and over again. The idea being that mobs will come through. You see how fast we actually go when we just hold the button? It's too quick. So it doesn't give enough time for the mobs to actually follow us and get into that portal. So if anyone can work out a way to slow down rail carts, I do have an idea to effectively change the direction the rail cart is going. So you take 2 passes on that before you head out. So that will double the amount of time you're in there. Whether or not that's going to work is another question. It's going to make the underside a little bit bulkier. Yeah, that is the entire idea. And I hope someone can make this work. If someone else makes this work, please put a link to that video in the comments. I would love to see it. Oh, you made it out. Why did you make it out? Oh, I wonder if he was summoned outside. That is interesting. So nothing should be able to make it out of that little killing chamber. As you just saw, something did. Because there are no gaps that anything can get out of. So I have to assume that he was summoned outside. Potentially by one of these guys. So what I'm going to need to do is make sure the top area of this doesn't have any spots that are valid for summoning. Okay. We learned something. But yeah, this should work in any area that has quite dense spawning. Right now, the best designs out there basically involve a spike on the spawn location. So rather than doing this, you just put a spike right here and then ride a rail past it. I found that boring, personally, and rather unimaginative, because I know there's so much more we can do with this game. So I hope this has inspired some people. I hope that maybe someone can work out where I'm going wrong, and if, like I say, if you come up with any ideas on how to fix this, and how to get it to its final state so it's worth making in-game, please let me know. And if you have any ideas for other things we can be doing with the current state of Hytale's technology, let me know. I would love to see more ideas. I will try and work on as many things as I can. But that's it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like. And if you want to learn more about Hytale, consider hitting the subscribe button. But with that, I'll see you next time.